Hello, future engineers. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're still new to my channel and you like what I'm doing, please don't forget to share my videos to your friends and to your friends' friends, to your younger brothers and sisters who would want to take up engineering in the future, and to your relatives. That's one way you can keep me going, inspired, and refreshed. Now, if you find my videos interesting and important to your studies, also please don't forget to subscribe. Hello, future engineers, subscribers, viewers, and students. Here is another video on equations and the start of the applications of equations for you to analyze. Then, for those who want to solve this, anticipate the problems in this video, you can do so by pausing the video and answering the questions and problems here. There are eight, I think. And for high school students, especially in the junior high, you will find this interesting and important for your preparations if you want to become engineers in the future. And for those who are first year students in college, you will find this interesting also. But supposedly, for those who are already in the second, third year, you will find this uh, already learned experiences from your experiences in the past, so that's why you can solve these problems by your own. But if you are still struggling even with these uh, exercises, algebraic exercises, it means that you're not prepared in your engineering life, that you need to go back to this basic algebra so that you will find your subjects in your level today easy to absorb and understand. So if you want to train yourselves, start from lighter subjects like this one. So these are just exercises, light exercises for you to improve yourselves in preparation to engineering life. So of course, it should start from the simple ones, if you find this simple. Find the value of a for which x is 5 is a solution of the equation here. And there are two exercises here for this type. Then we have an application engineering about temperature scales, which this equation is already uh, popular to you, known to you. In fact, I derived this in the preceding videos, first part, I think. Then we substitute x is 5 because it is a solution. So 5 minus 3 over a plus 5 plus 5 plus 1 over 3a plus 5 equals 2 times 5 minus 6 over a plus 3. The LCD is all these three denominators. So we multiply everything by the LCD and simplify the numerators. So LCD times 2 over a plus 5 plus 6 over 3a plus 5 equals 4 over a plus 3. So LCD times the first term here, cancel this. So it is 2 times quantity 3a plus 5, a plus 3, plus 6 times quantity a plus 5, a plus 3, then equals 4 times quantity a plus 5, 3a plus 5. Then this is 2, quantity 3a square, 9a plus 5a is 14a. So 2 times quantity 3a square plus 14a plus 15. 5 times 3 is 15. Then plus 6 times a square, 3a plus 5a, 8a plus 15. So plus 6 times quantity a square plus 8a plus 15. Then equals 4 quantity 3a square, 5a plus 15a is 20a plus 25. So equals 4 times quantity 3a square plus 20a plus 25. Distribute, so simplify 6a square plus 28a plus 30 plus 6a square plus 48a plus 90. 6 times 15 is 90 equals 12a square plus 80a plus 100. 4 times 25 is 100. So we have 6a square, 6a square, 12a square. 6a square plus 6a square is 12a square. So we can cancel 12a square. We can eliminate the a square terms. Then 28a plus 48a is 76a minus 80a is negative 4a. Then 30 plus 90, 120. 100 in the right side, so 100 minus 120 is negative 20. So 76a minus 80a, negative 4a equals 100 minus 120, negative 20. So 4a equals negative 20. Divide everything by negative 4, so a is positive 5. So when a is 5, none of the denominators here would be 0. Therefore, the value of a is 5. For the next one, so still x is 5, the solution. So 5 minus LCD is the whole of this, a plus 3 to a minus 9, a minus 1. Then we substitute 5 minus 3 over a plus 6 plus 2 times 5 minus 8 over 2a minus 9 equals 5 minus 2 over a minus 1. So multiply by the LCD, which is a plus 6 to a minus 9, a minus 1, then times 2 over a plus 6 plus 2 over 2a minus 9 equals 3 over a minus 1. Then distribute. So a plus 6 is cancelled. So we have 2 times quantity 2a minus 9, a minus 1, plus 2 times quantity a plus 6, a minus 1, then equals 3 times quantity a plus 6 to a minus 9. So simplify, this is 2 quantity 2a square minus 2a and minus 9a minus 11a plus 9. So 2 times 2 quantity 2a square minus 11a plus 9. Then 2 times quantity a square minus a plus 6a is 5a, then minus 6. So 2 times quantity a square plus 5a minus 6, then equals 3 times 2a squared, negative 9a plus 12a plus 3a minus 54. So equals 3 times quantity 2a squared plus 3a minus 54. Then distribute the constants. 4a squared minus 22a plus 18 plus 2a squared plus 10a minus 12 equals 6a squared plus 9a minus 162. Negative 54 times a, negative 162. 4a squared plus 2a squared is 6a squared in the left side. There is 6a squared in the right side. So we can eliminate the a squared terms. Combine the a's, negative 22 plus 10a, negative 22a plus 10a, negative 12a. Negative 12a minus 9a is negative 21a. Then 18 minus 12 is 6. To the right, negative 168. So negative 21a equals negative 168. And negative 168 divided by negative 21 is 8. 8. So a is 8. And when a is 8, none of the denominators is 0. Therefore, that's the value. A is 8. For the next, in the Fahrenheit centigrade equation, 5F equals 9C plus 160. Solve for C in terms of F. Then use the resulting formula to find the centigrade temperature correct to tenths of a degree corresponding to the following Fahrenheit temperatures: A, 32 degrees, B, 212 degrees, C, 80 degrees, and D, 50 degrees. So we write this as 5F minus 160 equals 9C, and the common factor for 5 and 60 is 160 is 5, then we have quantity f minus 32. So take note that 5 times negative 32 is negative 160 when 160 is transposed to the left equals 9c. Divide everything by 9. So c is 5 over 9 quantity f minus 32. So for part 8, f is 32. So 32 minus 32 is 0. So c is also 0. So c is 0 degree Celsius. Then B, C is 5 over 9 times 212 minus 32. Of course, 212 is the boiling temperature in Fahrenheit scale. Therefore, we expect that the answer is 100 because 100 degrees Celsius because that's the boiling point of water in centigrade scale. So 212 minus 32 is 180. 180 divided by 9 is 20 times 5, 100. So C is 100 degrees. Then when 80, C is 5 over 9 times quantity 80 minus 32. 80 minus 32 is 48. 48 times 5, 240. 240 over 9 is 80 over 3. And 80 over 3 is 26.6667. And 26.67 to the nearest tens is 26.7. So C is 26.7. Then the last part, which uh, you just substitute uh, 50. So C is 5 over 9 times 50 minus 32 because I erroneously press it, so it advances to this slide. So 5 over 9 times 50 minus 32, 5 over 9 times 18. 18 over 9 is 2 times 5, 10. So the answer to part D is 10 degrees Celsius. And it's an easy job task to you because it's an easy calculation. Then we proceed to the next slide. Let an object be shot vertically upward from the surface of the Earth with an initial speed v feet per second and neglect air resistance and other disturbing features. Then it is proved in physics that S is Vt minus 1 half gt squared. In fact, V is denoted by VO, initial speed, where S is, or initial velocity if it is in vector form, where where S feet is the height of the object above the surface at the end of t seconds, and g is 32 feet per second square approximately. Uh, the accurate one is 32.174. Other authors use 32.2, 32.17, but the accurate one is 32.174 feet per second square. So find S if V is 100 then T is 6. Part B, solve for V to obtain a formula for V in terms of S and T. And Part C, from B, compute the speed with which the object must be shot to attain a height of 100 feet in 5 seconds. So for Part A, we just substitute S equals Vt minus 1 half gt squared, where g is 32. So substitute V is 100. 100 times 6 minus 1 half of 32 times 6 squared. Of course, 100 times 6 is 600, and 16 times 36 is 576. So S is 24 feet. For B, let's derive a formula for part B. So S plus 1 half gt squared. So this is the formula. So S plus 1 half gt squared equals Vt. So dividing everything by time t. So V is quantity S plus 1 half gt squared all over t. Or you may use S over t plus 1 half gt if you want. But let's just use this. So part C, S is 1000 and T is 5. So V is 1000 plus 1 half of 32 times 5 square all over 5. So 16 times 25 is 400. So V is 1000 plus 400 divided by 5, or 1400 divided by 5. But 1000 over 5 is 200. 400 over 5 is 80. So 200 plus 80, V is 280 feet per second. Then lastly, find the error in the following proof that 1 is negative 1. Of course, that's not true. But if you're you are not experienced, you will really find this an interesting proof. You might be convinced that 1 is really negative 1. In fact, there's a proof that 1 is 2, 1 is 0, 1 is 3, 1 is 5, like that. So following this same procedure here, you may invent a procedure like this to prove that 2 is 3, like that. So let's analyze first. X is 1, that's correct. Square both sides, x squared is 1 square, so x squared is still 1. Subtract x to both sides of the equation, that is still correct. They are still, this is an still equivalent equation to the preceding one. Then factor out x. So x times quantity x minus 1, that is correct. Then factor out negative 1 here, negative 1 times quantity x minus 1. Then next is, if you divide everything by x minus 1, then this will be the last part of the proof. But because x is 1, then that's why if you replace 1 here, 1 equals negative 1. That's not true. So where's the error? So the error in this proof is when the second to the last, this is the second to the last equation, is divided by x minus 1. And you canceled x minus 1. Remember, x minus 1, the quantity x minus 1 is 0 because x is 1. You cannot divide 0 in an expression because division by 0 is undefined. So that's the error in that proof. When the second to the last equation is divided, you allow the second to the last equation by dividing it by x minus 1 and you cancel it. You cannot do it because x minus 1 is 0 and division by 0 is undefined. So that's the error in that proof. When this equation is divided by x minus 1. You cannot do that because x is 1 and x minus 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. So develop that habit, make that your habit in simplifying equations so that you won't be confused or you will not be surprised if you encounter this same situation.